Hi guys, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where and when you're watching this video. Welcome back to my channel. Is your girl Emosa Imperial. If this is your first time of tuning into my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Please like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification button to get more notification when I upload more content. If you are my returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning. I hope you had an amazing Valentine's Day a couple of days ago. I had an amazing day. Matter of fact, this is one of the results from my Valentine's Day. Moving on for today's vlog. From the title of the vlog, you can tell what I will be discussing about. So this is something I've really mean to share, since I figured it's something that not everybody gets to talk about. So sit back, relax. I shall be starting this vlog after my little commercial break. Please don't leave.
This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round.
Hi guys, welcome back. So on today's vlog, I want to quickly share how my journey in the aspect of learning French went. Um, Before I proceed, I want to quickly say this for anyone out there. If you are considering or you're thinking about learning French, please do not even brainstorm if you're to learn this language. Please go for it. Start immediately. I didn't start learning French because it was popular or because it was some bougie language. I learned it because of the security. I wanted to have backup plan in future, and also for the security that it comes with. So that was the main reason why I learned French. So please, if you're looking forward to securing your permanent residence in Canada through through the French proficiency category, please go for it. And if you're already in French, please sit back and I will be giving you some of my tips and guidelines on how I was able to navigate my own French journey. So, on today's agenda, I will be telling you why I decided to learn French, even though I already mentioned some few points. Number two on the agenda is how I chose my French learning path. The third one on the agenda is the duration of my French journey. The fourth on the list is the cost of my learning French. The fifth on the list is how I balance French with work and life. The sixth on the list is challenges I faced. The seventh on the list is what learning French has taught me so far. The eighth on the list is why French was my backup plan. The ninth on the list is advice for anyone considering French. Finally, the conclusion. So moving on the first on the list, I already mentioned why I learned French. Like I mentioned, I learned it because French wasn't actually my first plan, but it ended up becoming my main plan. Also, I wanted to have my options opened, given the fact that there are lots of pathways open for permanent residents. I also believed in having plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. For anyone out there, if you're in Canada, is always advisable to have more than two plans so you can be on the safe side. So learning French made me have multiple backup plans. And also, learning French has actually boosted my confidence because it kind of helped me on my day to day conversation with the French speakers. And also, it gave me absolute peace of mind. So, that's one of the reasons why I learned French. Second agenda is how I chose my how I chose my French learning path. So how I started, the way I was able to enroll, I actually reached out to an institution called Speakidy. I'm going to put the name there so you guys can see. I reached out to them. We had our one-on-one 1 hour consultation. From there, they were able to decide on which level you should start with. For me, I told them I wanted to start from level one, which is A1 to B2. So B2 was my target score. So after that, we got he sent me my breakdown, the cost and everything. So after I enrolled with the institution, I was given my own package plan and the fee and everything. And from there, we started off the class. we got the login details with our teacher, and so that was how we kicked off the learning French. And another thing again is that how I was able to handle my learning path or structure was we had this number of days we get to meet. We were doing it online via Zoom. So we usually have the class 4 days a week, from Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 2 hours from 7 o'clock to 9 p.m. There were other classes like morning class and evening class. We chose the evening class because we worked in the morning. So reach out to them. They're gonna tell you the plans and the classes they have, and then they'll give you your breakdown depending on amount of hours you're looking for. I did 260 hours. So the more hours, the more money, and the more students in class, the less money. The less students in class, the more money. So that's just the package when it comes to Speakedia. So third on my agenda for today is the duration for my French journey. At first, when I started, I wanted to do 6-7 months kind of training. Towards the 6th month, I realized that I still needed more hours after I've written my TEF exam, my first attempt. I didn't really do bad. I did well actually for first timer. So I had to go back, paid another hours, like not another bundle of time, and then I had to go back. So like I mentioned, the minimum hours you should start with, I think, is like 50 hours. So yeah, so my total hours I did was 250 hours or 260 hours. And it was more like 1 year. It took me from 1 year because I started around March, ended around January. So duration was 1 year duration for me. The progress, actually, I started seeing progress when I was in my 6th month after I did my TEF first attempt. That's when I started seeing the progress. And also, some weeks actually flew by fast because of how progressive we were when we were learning our French. So week wise, we actually had classes 4 times a week, every week, excluding Wednesdays, sometimes weekends, depending on how our lecturer, our teacher wanted us to meet to make sure that we are actually learning very well. So that's the duration for my French journey. On to the next agenda, which is the cost of learning French. Like I mentioned, for the cost, I'm not going to give you guys an estimate or an like a figure, because as at the time I did my French was 2 years ago, so I don't know what's the current price. I would advise, please reach out to them, do your due diligence, and get to know the number of hours you're looking forward to pursue with them, and then they're going to give you your quota. Another thing again, they that comes with their package is they will have to sign you up to an app or to a program called Prep My Future. So Prep My Future is another way of you practicing the 4 modules: the speaking, listening, reading, and writing. So that way they sign you up for you to keep practicing some past current materials to prepare you ahead of your TEF exam or your TCF exam. So they will give you that once you enroll with them. Also, they will give you materials to study with, like grammars and all of that, like a whole lot of materials for you to study with. So those are what comes with your payment. Another thing again for the cost is exams. The exams, you have to enroll the exams, like for the TEF or TCF exam. I enrolled that from my own pocket. I think it was like 490 Canadian dollars for each exam plus tax. So that's another cost for it. So like I mentioned, please do your due diligence. I don't know if it's still the same cost as at 2 years ago I wrote the exam. So that is what I will say when it comes to the cost. One thing I will say about the cost is please be time and financially prepared, because sometimes or most times during the class, the owner David, he had this plan that was able to help the students who just finished school. So he has this installmental payment plan. I think every two weeks to help you spread your payments and your payment. So if you reach out to him, he will give you some payment plan if you want to spread it. If you don't want to spread it, he'll be more than happy to get the whole payment at once. So yeah, be financially and time wise prepared, because he tends to work based on the time you are available. So that's what I will talk about for the cost of learning the French. Moving on the fifth agenda is how I was able to balance my French with work and life. I was actually working full time Mondays to Sundays. Some days I do have days off. Days off I get to like use and study. So like I mentioned, the days were 4 days a week: Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Some days my teacher, Monsieur Arurik, will volunteer to teach us from his own weekend, being like he wasn't getting paid for it. He was just doing it from his own pocket, because he wanted us to really, really ace this exam. So yeah, that was how I was able to maneuver and face the challenges I got during my work life and everything. I also created a very strategic routine that worked for me, in the sense that once it's 3 o'clock, I tend to leave my work as early as 3 o'clock, so I can be able to get home and get prepared and get settled to start my class. Some days I just have to join them on my way home, depending on how busy it was. Finally, I would say consistency matters a lot, because I was trying to practice often with my colleagues at work who were French speakers, and most days I try to practice with my guests when they arrive. Upon arrival, from their accent or from their names, I get to ask them if they speak French. And one thing again that I really saw that helped me a lot was French speakers. What they always love when they see somebody trying to learn their language, they are always more than happy to help you correct your tenses, your pronunciations, your grammar. So that was what really, really helped me. I wasn't shy to let them know I'm new in this game called French. They were more than happy to help me, even proceeds telling me to keep trying. They even recommended some books, some materials that helped me actually learning my French, some podcasts, some audio books, some books, some like a lot, even some TV shows that they recommended I should use to learn more. So yeah, that was how I was able to balance my French with work and life. The sixth on the agenda is the challenges I faced. For sure, I was mentally fried beyond imagination. I was mentally fatigued. Because I just finished school and then I dived into learning French. Learning French as an adult who has 9 to 5, 7 days a week is literally exhausting. So I was mentally exhausted from work, diving into learning French every day of the week. So that was one of the challenges I faced. The pronunciation challenges, because some of the pronunciations had to come from the stomach, some from the throat, some you have to breathe in for you to pronounce them very well. Some the pronunciations had to come from your nose. So the pronunciations were a little bit challenging for me, especially when you're doing your speaking. You have to pronounce them correctly and audible for them to hear. So those were one of the challenges I faced. The second one I faced was the alphabet. Some alphabet you just have to kind of draw. It's more like an art alphabet, you just have to draw. So those were like the few challenges I faced. Overall, my teacher, my classmates, they were godsends. Without them, I don't think I would have been able to achieve the success I had in this French in a short period of time. Moving on the seventh agenda, I what learning French has literally taught me, I would say it has really, really like improved my disciplined rates. I'm a very disciplined young lady, but my discipline rates, I would say, if I say my discipline rate was on 8, my discipline rate has evolved to 101%. Yeah, it made me more disciplined that I used to be, and also it taught me to be more focused than I used to be. and it actually taught me to be more patient because I'm very, very impatient when it comes to nonsense, especially things that tends to be very difficult. So it kind of taught me to be patient. Another thing again helped me with my strategic thinking in the aspect of um trying to speak in French, in the sense like when you say I am a girl, you cannot, there are some languages, or there are some sentences rather, there are some sentences in English you cannot switch back word for word in English to French. Some like some of those some of the words, like the verb, some verb comes before the noun, and some noun comes before the adjective. So it's just a little bit strategic when it comes to trying to translate your English to French. So it taught me how to be very, very strategic in aspect of conjugating my verbs and my adverbs. So that was what French has actually helped me. And also it boosted my confidence in learning new skills. After I learned my French, I told myself there's nothing else that is beyond me from learning. Anything I set my mind into, I'm going to learn it and I'm going to smash it, because learning French is something that is very, very crazy, not crazy, very, very difficult to achieve. Given the fact I've achieved it, I told myself there's nothing beyond me not to learn. So that's what learning French has taught me so far. Moving on the eighth on the agenda is why French was my backup plan, like I mentioned. I didn't want to rely on just one option. Backup plans helps reduces stress. Please, 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 please endeavor to have more than one backup plan. Please, it helps reduces stress. You don't know what stress has really done to a lot of people here in Canada. Another thing again, having French as a backup plan brings this confidence. If you know what I mean, confidence in the aspect of work wise, you get to apply higher paying job that requires French as a second language. Another thing again, it makes you feel welcome and assimilated into society. These days, when I see my French speaking guests, I switch from English to French. It gives me this sense of belonging, that I know what I'm doing and I love what I'm doing. So that's it. Like, it boosts my confidence from 0 to 1 million, if there's anything like that. So my advice to anyone considering learning French is, please start early. The earlier the better. Please start early. Don't think about it. Start early. Be realistic about time and cost. Like I mentioned, some schools do it cheaper. Some schools do it more expensive. Treasure. So look for the one that aligns with your goals and your pockets. Put your mouth where your money is. So time wise, cost wise, please do your due diligence. And I know there are some free schools, if I'm not mistaken. Check. There are some free institutions that offers French for free language, given the fact that Canada really, really needs French speakers. Another thing again is, do not compare your journey to other people's journey. Remember, comparison steals someone's joy, or steals your joy. So do not compare your journey to anyone. Everybody has their time. So focus on your time and be patient. It's all gonna work out in due time, in due process. Another thing again I want to say, which is very, very important, is endeavor to always, always celebrate your small wins. Celebrating each wins you get gives you that completeness. I don't know how to explain it. I remember when I was in class, anytime I pass or answer any question correctly, on my way to work the next day, I stop by to just spoil myself. Please, please, please celebrate your small wins. And finally, what I will have to say is, just so you know, your journey is very personal. It's very, very personal. Planning ahead is actually an act of self-love. Love yourself first, and then everything will align the way you've actually positioned yourself to have it. Another thing again is, trust your process. Never doubt yourself. Always trust your process. Re-strategize and refocus. Be consistent. Tell yourself every day you wake up, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I have this, I got this, I'm gonna get this. And believe me, when you map out your goals and your plans, and you work towards them, you will eventually get them. So this is where we'll be drawing the line. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope my tips has helped you or will help you in your journey, please feel free to reach out to me if you need more information regarding my own journey. I'll be more than happy to share with you. Merci beaucoup. À la prochaine. Bisous, bisous. Au revoir. Bye. Take care.